What's going on? Well, I figure I've been on YouTube for a while and I see a lot of people ranting about stuff, so I'm going to take my turn at this. I feel like ranting about something. I want to rant about Obama. First of all, I can't believe that nobody talks about this guy going to a church for 23 years and listening to Reverend Wright speak about the hatred of America, the disdain of white people, and nobody cares. This man took his family there for 23 years. 23 years, man, that's a long time to take your family to a church where they preach that kind of rhetoric. The only way you would do that is if you believe in it. So, I'm telling you right now, this man agrees with that ideology. He doesn't like America. He doesn't like the way it is right now. He wants to make the big change. And he doesn't care much for white people. And nobody talks about this. Nobody even brings it up. And to me, it's almost appalling and it's shocking. I can't believe that nobody says anything. Look at this man's college professor. Here's another thing. Look at this man's college professor back at Harvard. And I don't remember the professor's name offhand, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said in an interview, and you can look it up on YouTube, he says in an interview that every day he wakes up, he makes it his job to harass white people for all the years that they've harassed them. This is a professor. This is somebody who is teaching our children in school. He's making a paycheck to teach kids in school, and he has these kind of feelings. You know, you can have the feelings, you can have them, but to be able to express them and nobody even says nothing about it, that's crazy to me. Because if this was on the other foot, it'd be a big hoop to do and the man would be fired. But that's neither here nor there. Look at Miss Obama's transcripts that she wrote in college. Some of her papers that she wrote in her little Ivy League school that she went to. Read some of those. Clearly has a problem with white people. She talks about it. That she doesn't trust them. So here's people that go to a church where they preach it. They write about it. They probably talk about it at home. And then they take their two children to it. They take their two innocent little girls who have fresh little minds to be able to, if you just let them go, would be able to develop their own feelings. You know what I mean? And mold them. They would be able to mold their own self by, different things that happen in their life. But no, they're sending them to a church where it's being told to them that, America stinks and white people are the cause of this. So now they have this preconceived notion about white people. They weren't even allowed to develop their own ideas through personal experiences. To me, I find that appalling. And how nobody talks about it. Nobody even brings this up. If Bush would have went to a church where they talked about the hatred of black people, well, he wouldn't even have been president. It would have been impossible for him to even be elected. He would be considered KKK. But yet, this man takes his family there for 23 years. I mean, that's freaking an astounding number. I've even talked to some people, and I had one guy tell me, he says, well, you don't always believe what your preacher says. You don't believe everything the preacher says. If I went to a church one time where they preach the hatred of black people, I'd be up and out. The guy wouldn't even be able to finish his freaking sentence, and I'd be out of there. If you go to a church for 23 years where they preach this, that means you believe in it. You agree with that ideology, because you wouldn't stay there. There's too many other freaking churches out there to go to. They're on every freaking corner in America. Pick another one. But no, he went to Reverend Wright's because he has that. I mean, he's done things throughout his presidency that's proven it. When the other professor had the police called on his house because he locked his keys out and was trying to break into his own house, his neighbor calls the police like a good neighbor would. Police get there, ask him to show some ID, and the guy flips the freak out. Flips out. Says, I live here, I don't need to show... The fuck you don't need to show ID. You need to show ID. He needs to prove that he lives there. This guy's mad. I'm thinking, you should be proud, happy to have neighbors that give a crap about you. Seriously. Like, the neighborhood that I live in, that ain't going to happen. They'll watch you come right in here, crack a beer, drink, and watch the festivities. He has neighbors who give a shit. And he still freaks out. And what does Obama do? He wakes up bright and early in the morning, doesn't even get the full entourage of information that is needed to make a statement. I mean, this guy holds the highest power in the free world. And he wakes straight up out of bed and says, the police acted stupidly, da-da-da. And then when he gets all the information and realizes, I think I screwed up on this one, then he says, hey, come on over to the White House. Let's have a beer. Let's smooth things over. This is, You know what? If I was that guy, if I was that cop, I would have told Obama to stick the beer up his ass. Because he acted stupidly. And do you know why he reacted like that? Like on a blink of a dime? Is because he feels that way. He already has a problem with white people. So he's quick to call it a racial issue. Quick to call it a racial, without even having any of the information. Trayvon Martin case, same thing. Quick to make a statement. What presidents even chime in on this stuff? I don't think I'm not that old. I'm in my 40s, but I don't ever remember any presidents ever chiming in on these kind of racial things. He is. Because he's the angry black man. He's got that undertow where he has a problem with white people, so it doesn't matter what happens. His instant reaction is going to be, it's got to be racism. There's got to be something to it. And to me, that's scary to think that this is a man that's in charge of the free world. And it's scary to think that nobody's talking about it. Nobody brings this up. We're talking about his record, and we're talking about, this, that, and the other, when you literally, in my personal opinion, I think you have a racist in the office. That's my personal opinion. And I'm sticking with it. So I want to get other people's opinion. I don't hear anybody talking about it, and I just want to see if anybody agrees with me. So, I don't know. That's all I got. Peace out.